All right, guys, it is AEW Review Week. Dynamite and Rampage this past week were pretty doggone good. I tell you what, before we dive off into it, if you like what you're hearing, always go to Patreon, 99 cent ad free, and wherever you get your podcast. All right, we'll dive into Dynamite, and they started out of the gate with the hair match. And they had the barber chair set up, the barber there, everybody ready to go. And it started off pretty strong. Okay, you had Jericho coming down, and then you had Ortiz. And of course, Jericho's got the, what does he call it? The Appreciation Society, Jericho Appreciation Society with him. And at first, it was just Ortiz, and then later to be joined by Kingston. But the match starts off, and hey, man, they're throwing hands, and it's going pretty good. Move for move, a couple great moves, and a lot of close calls. It was a good match. I could try to get into describing it, but I think you know what I mean. It was a good match. It was a close calls because, of course, they're trying to get that pin to get the hair cut. It ends up to where they move Ortiz's hand off the rope when he breaks. I believe he's in the walls of Jericho. And once the Appreciation Society tries to take his hand off the rope, Kingston comes in. They, of course, all jump on him. So all hell breaks loose, right? And then you've got the rest of Ortiz's bunch coming down. And everybody gets kind of evened up. They get on the outside. They're kind of whooping. They're whooping this way. They're whooping up the ramp. They're going well. Anyway, a mask man, as Regal would call it. And everybody's thinking it's Fuego de Soro. He's got the whole ring gear up. Anyway, a mask man comes to the ring. Is kind of cowering down. About this time, Kingston gets up first and does a spinning back fist on Jericho, but Jericho kicks out. And then the Mask Man comes down. He's hiding around, and he goes to grab the bat, Floyd, the bat, and runs in, hits Ortiz. Of course, Jericho falls, gets the pin, and that is the end of the match. But there's all kinds of things that happened after the match that were really good. And this is all setting up for blood and guts. But when let me see, what did I got here? What do I have? Well, the main thing was the match is over. They're backing up the ramp. And it's Jericho and the Mask Man. And then the Mask Man slowly takes his mask off. And who, to our surprise, it's Sammy. And that's a terrible JR impression. But it's Sammy. He's flipping everybody off, everything. Well, Ortiz gets up, and Kingston gets the microphone, and it looks like he's going to talk. But pretty much Ortiz, instead of taking the mic, he takes the razor. And at first he's cutting it with some scissors, cutting the dreads off, and then he takes the razor and starts cutting his own damn hair. Well, this brings up blood on his head, So, they end the match pretty much with the mic stuck in Ortiz's face, and he just hollers blood and guts, over and over and over. Okay, then we go to the next match, which is a Super Jabroni match. It's Wardlow against 20 of the Sterling Mark's clients that are casino or Coliseum security. It's a stupid match. It's not well thought. I know they're trying to make Wardlow look good. He's going to look good regardless. But the 20-on-1, come on. He stacks them up like, as JR says, cordwood, and goes through them pretty much. It's Jabroni left, Jabroni right, so nothing really there. And then they go right into America's top team up in the skybox, and he's hollering at, hey, that Dan Lambert's saying that they're going to come get him, and that he might even have somebody there for him right then. Well, here comes Matt Hughes and Tyron Woodley of the UFC, legends. But to tell you the truth, man, Matt Hughes looks like he had to go to the bathroom or something. I don't know. He looks stiff. Just did not look like a UFC fighter. Tyron Woodley definitely did. And, of course, they're trying to get him to whoop on Wardlow, and Wardlow gets the mic, and he goes, hey, man, y'all some Midwesterners. They're in St. Louis, so, and I'm a Midwesterner, and I think we're cut from the same cloth, and pretty much you're going to listen to this rich asshole up in the skybox, which, Dan Lambert starts jumping around. And, they pretty much say no. They throw Mark Sterling into, or Sterling Mark, however you want to put it, with his red, white, and blues clothes on. I think he had a red jacket, blue pants, and a white shirt. But they throw him to the Wolf, or in this case, Wardlow. And he does the power bomb on him. They shake hands, and everything is hunky-dory. Then we go to a hell of a match. It is Dax and Will Ospreay. And, Dax comes out, of course, with the corny 70s porn music, but he's a heck of a wrestler. And you got Will Ospreay dripping in gold, slipping and sliding, rolling out to the match, man. And it was a hell of a match. I mean, these guys went back and forth. Dax with the strikes and Will with acrobatics and moves. But one thing, when Will goes to do a move, and I don't know if it's just the New Japan style that I'm not used to, but like Kenny Omega, he seems to me like I don't know if he's copying Kenny Omega or Kenny Omega copying a Japanese wrestler that does the same, but when they get set to go into the ropes, they do this odd little like, and then they go into it. And he got caught once doing that, and then the second time when he was able to do it, he was effective. And look, man, Will has just blown me away. Before his AEW time, I may have seen, I don't know, maybe 25 matches of his. And I am continually impressed. He does a fantastic job. But he does a couple moves that's just out of this world. But, man, that elbow to the head. Now, they do, Dax goes up to the top rope, which those guys never do that. And so what the result is going to be, of course. The knees come up, and so Dax is hurt. And they go back and forth, some very close pins. And in some moves you think that each one got to complete a finishing move. And they both kicked out. And it ended up being that Dax got a blow to the head, and then he comes back with a couple flips, couple moves, Will does, and then Will gets the elbow to the back of the head. Seriously, adjust the elbow pad and really just lays into him and pretty much kind of knocks him out for a second. And 1, 2, 3 goes to Will. But then United Empire comes out. So that brings on a whole nother thing because it brings in trains and whistles. But they come in and they're kind of standing over him and like they're getting ready to all whoop on him. And then all of a sudden you see the rest of Dax's crew come out and everybody's kind of facing off. They kind of get to throwing hands and everything. So you get a little taste of what's going to come after that. But they pretty much had gotten an upper hand, the United Empire had, and then you hear Orange Cassidy's music. And of course, he comes flying down, he comes walking down to the ring where everybody else now has kind of been able to clear out the ring. Will hears the music, doesn't want to look towards the ramp, kind of looking up towards the crowd like, can you believe this, brother? Can you believe this, man? But they turn around, do a stare off. Orange Cassidy's crew comes up behind him. Will decides, I'll retreat for now. Then they go into a Mox Tanahashi interview where Mox has been saying he's been chasing him for 3 years, and finally he has him. Then they go into a commercial break, and they come back out, and Mox comes to the crowd, comes to the ring, or they announce him to come to the ring, and of course the crowd goes crazy. Now Tanahashi, during that interview earlier, never spoke, and then so they get up to nose to each other, and right when Mox goes on for several minutes about in his mind he believes he's the best wrestler in the world, and at Forbidden Door, after 3 years of chasing this man, he is going to prove it. Well, they get to talking, and Takahashi finally gets ready to use the mic, and what happens? Another train whistle comes through. It's Jericho. And Jericho pretty much is telling everyone, and he's with Ty Conti and Sammy. But they're Princeing out, and he announces, Jericho does, that he's beaten Bryan Danielson a few weeks ago in Japan, and he beat Takahashi, is like 2-0 against him, and everything. About this time, Takahashi finally gets to talk, and he pretty much says, "Shut up," in a very broken English. And then Jericho goes, "Skid him." And the guys come running down the ramp, and they're all ready for him, right? Mox and they're ready. But out of nowhere, Murder Hawk and Desperado jump in from behind. And they pretty much whoop everybody. And Jericho introduces his new group, and it's Sammy, and Ty, and Murder Hawk, and Desperado, and they're on loan from the Suzuki Goons dojo. I'm not up on Japanese wrestling as much as I should be. That's where I refer to the gardener, Mr. Gross. But they pretty much are setting up a 5-on-5 match, and they're fighting. They're going back and forth, and pretty much Mox and the gentleman clear the ring out, and it's those two gentlemen, those two warriors standing in the ring at the end, and they do a little mouth talking while the announcers are going to commercial, and then they go with Darby and Red Dragon's promo, where Darby's pretty much going, "Man, y'all took my man Sting out. I'm going to get revenge." And Red Dragon's going, pretty much, "No, man, I don't really think you want to come down this way." So they cut that promo. It goes off that. And then they go into a promo with the All-Atlantic Tournament for the belt. And it's Ethan Page is going to go again with Dan Lambert, of course, running his mouth, and Muro. Now, they go to the match after the commercial, and Muro comes out, and man, he looks great. He's got that stare. And Page does a great match, man. I mean, Ethan does. He's moved for move. He's a good wrestler. This is not a new guy. This is a seasoned veteran. And the match is back and forth, and he gets the upper hand on Muro for a while, and everything's looking his way. Then he screws up. He tells Muro, Muro is a very religious person in real life, and in his promos, the deal, the way he talks and the walk he walks. But he tells Muro that he wants him to pray to him. Bad move. All right, so that pretty much tells you where that match went after that. Hey, there was a couple more good moves, but Muro gets through, stomps the back, stretches him out, flips him over, and it's sunny side up. Muro wins. All right, then they go into a promo with Matt Sydal and Dante Martin for an upcoming match on Rampage this Friday, where he's pretty much saying, man, he's tired of being called, untapped talent or the future. He's saying it's now. So they do a good little quick promo, get Sydal a little FaceTime, trying to help. But Dante does good on the mic. So they go from there. They go to they go to Britt Baker and Toni Storm. And that was a good match because this is a rematch. And it's a good match. They come out striking right away, trying to beat the hell out of each other. They do a great job. But the match as it goes for several minutes. And, of course, you got to kick one of Britt's girls out and get it down to 2-on-1. But Toni does a move. Some kind of little acrobatic move, flip over, and Britt backs. She's already on her butt. She's on the mat, so she backs into the turnbuckle, into the seated position on, with her back against the bottom rope, her head against the second rope. Toni does a quick running move, turns around and gives her the booty shot of all booty shots. If you go back and watch, which I recommend you do, you watch Britt's head. All right. She hits it. The ref goes right down to check on her. She looks like she maybe has a concussion, looks a little weak. The ref, of course, is going to stop and check the match. And Tony's like, come on, man, come on. Let me get, this is the time. I need to jump on her right now. And, the ref leans down, checks on her, does a little deal, and then he goes, okay, wrestle, ladies, and Toni goes to grab her. Boom! Britt rolls her up into a small package and almost wins. And they usually do when this happens. That's usually, I was sitting there going, I'll be dog. And, she's going to win it this way. But no, Britt does not. She tries to put the glove on and do her move with the dental move. But it doesn't work. She gets thrown around, gets caught, and gets pile drivered. And I love a pile driver. I love it. They used to outlaw it in the old Memphis territory days. So whenever the ref would turn Lawler, somebody would do a pile driver on somebody, and they never recovered. It was the most devastating move in wrestling at the time. It was banned in several states. But Toni does a pile driver. Boom, wins the match. Surprisingly, to me, I would not have predicted that. And then Thunder Rosa comes out with the belt, kind of holds it up and says, yeah, you're next. So they go into Stokely, Jade's mouthpiece, doing an open challenge. And Willow Nightingale, that's right, Willow Nightingale. She comes out, Willow. Yeah, Willow. No, I've never heard of her. She comes out, says that she wants the open challenge after she's being accused of Stokely of wanting to be a baddie, which she says, no. So she asks to be in the match, and Stokely says, hey, you're an idiot, but okay, see you this Friday on Rampage. And then Hangman comes out to do his promo. And this guy's over, man. He's over. I mean, the crowd goes crazy. The kids are up and, hollering. They're spilling $12 beers. They love them, some Hangman. And he's going to call out, there it goes, what's another one of these names, O'Connie? Well, he was going to do that the prior week, that he was going to call him out, and that's when him and Adam had the problem. Well, apparently the gentleman lost the belt to Jay White. And Hangman says, hey, I called you out. I'll still want to call you out. And then Adam Page comes out. Adam Cole comes out. And Adam Cole pretty much calls Hangman a idiot and says, look, the dude's not even going to be there. But let me introduce you to my friend who is. And they start some music, and everybody's looking to the ramp, to the entrance. And what happens to Hangman? But who comes from behind? It's Mr. Jay White, Sling Blade. Now, I have seen him wrestle quite a few times. I'm not saying that I'm a regular with him, but I am a little familiar with his work. He has won the belt, the IWGP belt, I believe, a New Japan Wrestling belt. And I think, because if I remember right, Will Ospreay lost it. He then won the New Japan United States Championship. Yeah, and Jay White has the world belt. And he proclaims it after he jumps Hangman from behind, knocks him down, pretty much knocks him out with the Sling Blade, and declares it's, it's his time. It's his era, the Sling Blade era. He hits him with the Blade Runner is what he calls that, the Blade Runner. And he says, hey, I've got the belt and you're not worthy, Hangman. But Adam Cole is sitting up on the ramp going, yeah, baby, it's Adam Cole, baby, it's me. Jay says no. Jay says the man who has the belt has the clout. That's what he says, not me now. That's what he says. And he reminds, Hangman that he's 2-0 against him too. But, that's how that ends with Adam Cole pretty much going, oh, man, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. What about us? What about us? What about us? But anyway. Then they go into the three-way Hardys versus... Oh, wait a minute. Scratch that. Edit 1, 2, 3. All right, now we go into the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Minus someone, maybe? I don't know. And it's a good match, man. It's a ladder match. They are flying and flopping, man. They take Luchadors and they use his size against him. Hell, they even put a Canadian destroyer on him. And they put him through 3 tables. Who was it? Nick Jackson did a 450 onto Luchasaurus, or the big guy's name with the green mask. And that guy's got talented feet too. Big man's got talented feet, man, and he can move. But they used his momentum to make it look more realistic. And I'm not a big Young Bucks fan. I'm not. And they did it good on this match. They used the big guy's weight against him. They put Jungle Boy, and oh yes, it's Jungle Boy's birthday, or the day before his birthday. I'm not remembering which one it was, but his mother and sister are sitting ringside, and they do a pan shot over there too, real quickly, and they're of course screaming for their brother and their son. And during the match, you can see them flopping around like they're nervous, and it's really good. It's really good. And Christian and everybody, they're really doing a good match. The match is going good. Everybody gets knocked down, but then Jungle Boy gets pinned. Now, I could do a lot of lead up and tell you a lot about the lead up to that, but you'll have to watch the match, because what happens next? Plot twist. Change in writing. The turn. Christian looks like he's going to help Jungle Boy. Nope. He flips around, he turns, and he whoops Jungle Boy's behind. Turns on him. Whoops him. Tries to do the Charinado on him. He does. It's terrible. Jumps out of the ring and goes towards Jungle Boy's mom and sister. And without quoting exact words, says that they raised a not-so-good person. There was some cussing, some going back and forth. There were a few words mentioned. And they're flipping him off and everything. But he pretty much goes, you raised a piece of trash. And that's the camera goes off. And pretty much that's the end of Dynamite. And we will go into Rampage here shortly. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I did not cover. And I believe I got it all with this one. And now we'll go to Rampage shortly after these commercial breaks. No, not really. All right, here we go with Rampage. Now, that's, let me see, that was Friday the 17th, and it starts off, of course, in St. Louis with Mox against Dante Martin. And this was a great match. They start off where Dante is going to offer John a handshake and just start to match out. Well, Mox looks around and pretty much says, with Regal on commentary, you got to have Regal on commentary. So they go into the match. Mox does eventually do a slap shake, I guess you would call it. And during this time, I have to bring this out. This has nothing to do with the match. The match was excellent. But at the start of the commentary, Regal pretty much says to Jericho, I wished I was sitting across from you with a shaved head. That's the cleaned up version. And Jericho has some snide remarks back, and Regal calls him, I want to make sure I get this right, but a trout slapper. Now, I'm not sure what that is. I may have to check with my friends in England. Even, I believe Maverick maybe can help me with that. A trout slapper is apparently not a good thing. So, and also in commentary, they refer to some matches that the Combat Club has been involved with, and I know Yuta's been over in New Japan, and Bryan Danielson's been over there. So apparently, a wrestler over there referred to the Combat Club as the Blackpool Country Club. Okay. But the match is fantastic. They go back and forth. Moves outside the ring, inside the ring. And Dante always seems to find... He takes an old move and makes it into his move. And then he just comes up with a freaking move. I mean, I don't know where he gets this stuff. But it's not like a gymnast going in. He, it looks good. Looks good. But anyway, the match goes on. They get into, great moves. They get into one time, Mox tells him to slap him or hit him across the chest. They do that a few times. And Dante thinks he's done good, hits him a few times, and then, of course, Mox lays the boom. Not too long after that, there's elbows upside the head. Mox is laying it down. He lays the smack down, and pretty much that's at the end of the match. They do, after that, go into a promo with Swerve and Keith Lee. And Keith Lee is pretty much saying, look, man, I saved you. I'll give you a few seconds here to tell me why I shouldn't be whooping your butt. And Swerve lets him know, hey, look, man, it was a singles competition. Now we're talking tag. And he keeps trying to convince Keith, and Keith's like, man. And then Hobbs and Ricky Starks come in and pretty much lay the smack down on them, telling them, hey, look, y'all can't coincide with each other. You can't co-inhabitate. You cannot work together. And we'll see. They go into a good promo, which the House of Black is always great. But they go to the House of Black, and they've got Penta and the Death Group there with the Bastard Pac. And he is doing the mouthpiece for Penta in the upcoming Atlantic Championship. That beautiful belt, isn't it? Beautiful. But they do a good promo. A good promo. It is. They're pretty much saying that each one's going to win, and that is how it goes. But I'll leave you with that to lead you into this. The Acclaim has arrived. All right, so you got the Acclaim, one being wheeled out by Billy Gunn and one on the mic. And you've got the Gun Club, the Ass Boys. And he comes out doing his typical rap. And he always drops some dimes on us. He always gives us a little tidbit of knowledge for the week, the news. So he does not disappoint this week. He does mention that St. Louis, where they're taping, has taken a title away from my hometown, Memphis, Tennessee. And it's the murder capital of the world now. St. Louis is. So we gladly give you that belt. And then he drops the dime on us. He drops us. St. Louis wasn't enough. No. Then he goes into that he did not have to sign a disclosure. Who could he be talking about? All right, so they go into a match against the Bear Country Bear Club. Sounds like a bad gay bar. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I'm just going to use, for lack of better words, jabronis. And they whoop the jabronis. Jabronis thrown to the left, jabronis thrown to the right, jabronis thrown out of the ring, into the ring, and pinned. All right, so then they go into a promo with Hook. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but he doesn't speak. So the interviewer is trying to get him to talk. Well, then I'm just going to call him the funny guy with painted face, because he's gotten out of character anyway. But from what he was, but Dan, well, anyway, the funny guy with face paint comes out and interrupts Hook's interview, his promo, and Hook speaks. He talks. He doesn't. The first question to him is like, she asks him a question, and he just stands there like, "Look, dude, I got a lot of hair. My chin is perfect. I'm young. I'm chiseled. Hey, I can't complain, because it sure as hell ain't me." But Hook ends up speaking on this, and I was kind of impressed there. So Hook talks. Then they go into Jade and Willow Nightingale. Yep. Okay. Jade. The only way I can describe this, the match is new girl comes to the ring like a bad Hulk Hogan or Dusty Rhodes in the polka dots. Trot to the ring. She does pretty good. Couple good moves. Never seen her before. I guess looks okay. Jade whoops her. Pretty much the end of it. Well, then Athena comes in after Jade's going to whoop on them a little more. So Athena ends up getting kicked upside the head. And then when Trish Stratliner comes out. Now, guys, I want you to go back and watch this. And watch for when Trish runs to the ring. Stratliner runs to the ring, and she touches Stokely's head or shoulder, somewhere in that area. And he does the NBA flop. I mean, he goes down like a ton of bricks hit him. So that was a pretty good, I thought. And then they do an interview, and then they go into the match with Darby and Fish. Now, I'm not as familiar with Fish, but I have seen, probably less than 100 matches of his, but I've seen quite a few. And he's a technician, a journeyman. Okay on the mic, but good in the ring, and a great tag team type. I'm not sold on him in singles, but this match is good. He does his MMA style, and the matches, I mean, he whoops the crap out of Darby for most of the match. Darby has a few good moves, and then here we go through the match. All right, I can go flop, flop, flip, fizz, and that's what the match was, a good match, though. And all of a sudden, you see Kyle O'Reilly, when Fish has got the upper hand several minutes into the match, closing of the taping of Rampage. So you know what's about to happen. They're going to get him back, because Darby, in the previous interview, had said he was going to get him back for doing it to Sting. And Fish had commented that he enjoyed the sound that Sting's ankle or leg had made when it broke. So, Darby's out for revenge. Now he's down. Here comes O'Reilly down the ramp with the chair. They're going to do it to him again. Oh, man. And then the lights go out. New wrestler? Somebody new from WWE? Blast from the past? No, it's Sting! Sting comes out, and he's got Floyd his bat in hand. And, of course, Kyle is going to hit him with the chair that's in his hand. And Sting, let's see how we can put this tastefully, takes the bat and hits a pair of balls out of the park. And that'll end that segment of that. But then Sting throws the chair into Fish. Now, Fish, he puts it on Fish's ankle, and Fish is not going down without a fight. He's still swinging and trying to fight. Darby, good-looking throws right to his head, side of the head, temple. The Fish lays down. At this time, Darby jumps to the top rope. Coffin drop on the chair. All right, that's how that ends. You know, he jumps out of the ring screaming in pain towards Sting. Sting takes the bat, kind of does a wrench on his knee, and that's where that ends. It's a good match. It's a real good match. Everything through. The show was a good show. So I'm going to rank it a B minus, C plus, somewhere in that range. Hey, this whole week, AEW, really good. You know, they got through the debacle because WWE had a bigger one. I said it. Hardy would be still trending everywhere. But you're not hearing very much about old Jeff right now, are you? Everybody's talking about that other dude. That dude. All right, guys. We're going to end it right there and say, if you can, rescue, please do, spay and neuter. And as always, this is Memphis Mark. I'm out.